Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name's Gemma and today I'm going to show you 5 different hand-lettered card designs. I've absolutely loved giving handmade cards this year and thinking of different ways to include hand lettering into them. I hope that you find this tutorial helpful, even if it just helps inspire ideas of your own. For the first design, I'm using a WHSmith Brush pen. I've used this design a few times and it's probably my favourites. First, you have to letter happy birthday with the brush pen. I tend to start the words with capital letters in this design. Once you've done that, you can use a uni Posca paint pen to draw little dots on top of the letters. This is really simple and you don't have to be too precise, but make sure to have a separate piece of paper handy to press down the nib to get the ink flowing. If you do this on the card, it will end up blotchy, and I don't think you'd want to do that after hand lettering the happy birthday. For the second design, I'm using Pentel Touch pens. These were actually a gift for my birthday and they've come in really helpful. They're really nice to use and I definitely recommend them. Okay, so start by saying happy birthday in joined up calligraphy, all in lowercase. I do this in black so that the name stands out. I then write the person's name in block capitals in a bright colour. You can personalise this with their favourite colour. For the third design, I'm using a Tombow monoline pen to write happy birthday in all caps. I think it's quite a laid back design, it's not too formal. You don't have to be too neat in the lettering. It's probably the easiest as you don't need to be able to do calligraphy. I write the person's name in capitals in my WHSmith Brush pen. I then go in with the monoline pen to add some outlines along the right hand side and the bottom of the letters. For the fourth design, I've added a splash of colour, again using the Pentel Touch pens. I write happy birthday followed by the person's name. With calligraphy throughout. It's quite nice that with the different colours it means you have to pause between each letter, and I typically find that going slower means that you're less likely to make mistakes. I write the letters out in rainbow colour order and then line the pens up in a row. Once I've used a colour, I make sure to place it behind the one I've just used so that I don't lose track of which colour to use next, because it's really frustrating otherwise if you create almost the whole thing and then realise you've skipped a colour and it would just bug you, or it bugged me anyway. So that's my recommendation. Finally, if you're creating a card for a Harry Potter fan in your life, this is the design for you. Firstly, I used the Pentel Touch to create a loose oval shape, which is then closed off with a slanted squiggle, so that you can see it's a sorting hat. You really don't have to be too neat for this because the sorting hat is a bit wonky anyway, so don't stress over getting it looking perfectly neat. I then colour it in with the Tombow brush pen. You can see the strokes, so I'd recommend having the strokes going the same way, otherwise it might look a little bit scruffier. At the bottom, I write happy birthday in calligraphy, again using my favourite Pentel Touch pens. I then add a coloured shadow, and this is where you can customise it because you can add the colour associated with the house. So in this case it would be for a Slytherin. Make sure again to, when you're adding the shadow, to stick to the right hand side and the bottom of the letters just so it's consistent. If you're interested in recreating these card designs, I've linked the pens I've used down in the video description. here is a view of all the cards together. I hope you found this video helpful. I hope it helps inspire you to create handmade cards. And if you have any comments or feedback, please leave them below. Thank you for watching.